flipping through the newspapers, switching through multiple news channels, exploring different websites and online mediums for relevant news. Keeping up to date with important news is not only time-consuming but also requires meticulous upkeep of notes for thorough revision. With a limited period in hand and abundant resources to study from, do not let current affairs come in the way of your prelims success. Join the PT 365 program by Vision IAS and advance in your preparation for current affairs. Starting on 9th January at 5 p.m., this 20-day course offers comprehensive coverage of 1 year of current affairs in 60 hours. Join for improved knowledge with complete coverage of The Hindu, Indian Express, PIB, Economic Times, Yojana, Economic Survey, etc. Doubt-clearing sessions and mentoring for thorough knowledge. Access to Sandhan personalized test with 25,000 plus questions. Access to live and online classes for flexibility in timing. It's time to devote your energy to smart learning and not running. Enroll today and excel in UPSC prelims with a strong command of current affairs.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. Election Commission of India celebrates 75 years of its establishment. 2025 marks 75th anniversary of India-China diplomatic relations. US President announces suspension and review of all foreign aid, igniting debate on its ethicality. Reserve Bank of India releases Payment System Report December 2024. Department of Consumer Affairs notifies Draft Legal Metrology Indian Standard Time Rules 2025. The Election Commission of India or ECI recently celebrated 75 years since its establishment, marking a significant milestone in its history. Established on 25 January 1950, the day is also commemorated annually as National Voters' Day to honor the foundation of this vital institution. Let's take a closer look at ECI. The ECI is a permanent constitutional body with its authority derived from Article 324 of the Constitution. This article entrusts the Commission with the responsibility of superintendence, direction, and control of elections to the Parliament, state legislatures, and the offices of the President and Vice President of India. The Commission is composed of one Chief Election Commissioner or CEC and a number of Election Commissioners or ECs as determined by the President. At present, the ECI consists of one CEC and two ECs. The President of India appoints a CEC and ECs who serve a tenure of 6 years or until they reach 65 years of age, whichever comes earlier. The status, salary and perks are equivalent to those of Supreme Court judges, emphasizing the high regard for their roles. The removal of the CEC is governed by the same procedure and grounds as those for removing a Supreme Court judge. Over the years, the ECI has achieved remarkable milestones. It has successfully conducted 18 Lok Sabha elections and more than 400 state legislative assembly elections, showcasing its robust electoral management. A significant achievement includes crossing the milestone of 100 crore registered electors, reflecting the vibrancy of Indian democracy. The gender ratio of registered voters improved from 928 women per 1,000 men in 2019 to 948 in 2024, indicating progress in women's electoral participation. To address the issue of criminalization in politics, the ECI introduced a requirement for candidates with pending criminal cases to publish their details, ensuring greater transparency. Several initiatives have been launched to enhance voter participation and inclusivity. For instance, the Systematic Voters Education and Electoral Participation or SVEEP program focuses on voter education and awareness. Additionally, the Saksham app facilitates voting for persons with disabilities, demonstrating the Commission's commitment to inclusivity and accessibility. The Election Commission of India or ECI performs several crucial functions to ensure free and fair elections in the country. One of its key responsibilities is model code enforcement, which involves maintaining a level playing field and monitoring compliance among political parties and candidates. Additionally, the ECI oversees the registration of political parties, ensuring inter-party democracy and granting the status of national and state parties. It also has advisory jurisdiction, where it provides recommendations on matters related to post-election disqualifications. As part of its quasi-judicial functions, the Commission has the authority to disqualify candidates who fail to submit their election expense accounts on time. Furthermore, the ECI plays a significant role in media policy, where it communicates electoral updates through regular briefings to keep the public informed. Through these efforts, the ECI has reinforced its role as a cornerstone of India's democratic process, ensuring free, fair, and transparent elections over the past 75 years.
Moving ahead, we will focus on a significant milestone in international relations. 2025 marks the 75th anniversary of India-China diplomatic relations. This occasion presents an opportunity for both nations to enhance public diplomacy and host a range of commemorative activities. These efforts were discussed during a recent meeting between the foreign secretaries of the two countries. Let's move on to the key announcements. The Kailash Mansarovar Yatra is set to resume in the summer of 2025, offering pilgrims a chance to reconnect with its sacred journey. Both countries have agreed on the resumption of hydrological data sharing and enhanced cooperation on trans-border rivers. Another major development is the decision to restart direct air services, facilitating better connectivity. Additionally, there will be a renewed focus on people-to-people exchanges, media interactions, and think tank collaborations to foster mutual understanding. Now, let's delve into the key areas of concern in India-China relations, which continue to challenge this complex partnership. First, unsettled borders remain a major point of contention. The absence of a mutual agreement on the line of actual control, or LAC, and disputes such as Aksai Chin have led to recurring tensions. Notable conflicts include those in Galwan Valley, Ladakh 2020 and Tawang, Arunachal Pradesh 2022. Second, there's the issue of unequal trade. India's trade deficit with China rose to $85 billion in 2023-24 compared to $83.2 billion in 2022-23, highlighting economic imbalances. Third, the China-Pakistan nexus adds further complexity. China's Belt and Road Initiative, or BRI, especially the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC, runs through Indian territory claimed by Pakistan, raising sovereignty concerns. Finally, China's assertiveness in South Asia and the Indo-Pacific region poses strategic challenges. The string of pearls strategy, increasing presence in Maldives and Sri Lanka, and claims over the South China Sea fuel insecurities in the region. So, what is the way forward for India in managing its relationship with China? Efforts are being made to address border issues as evidenced by recent agreements on Dipsang and Dimchok along the LAC. India is also focusing on diplomatic engagements by keeping communication channels open, whether bilaterally or through platforms like BRICS and the SCO. To provide a brief overview of India-China relations, the two nations established diplomatic ties in 1950, and the Panchsheel Agreement of 1954 emphasized peaceful coexistence and non-interference in each other's internal affairs. On the economic front, China remains India's largest trading partner, with bilateral trade reaching $118.4 billion in 2023-24. And that's the current state of India-China relations, a blend of cooperation, contention, and the continuous pursuit of balance.
Moving ahead, in a major policy shift, the US President has announced a suspension and review of all foreign aid, sparking ethical debate. This is a move aimed at fulfilling the America First agenda while ensuring that taxpayer-funded assistance aligns with national interests. The decision has ignited a global debate on the ethicality of foreign aid, raising concerns about its implications for international cooperation and humanitarian efforts. But what is foreign aid? It refers to the voluntary transfer of money or resources from one country to another, primarily from developed nations to developing ones. It takes various forms, including bilateral assistance, which directly supports poorer nations, and multilateral assistance, which funds international organizations such as United Nations agencies. Additionally, humanitarian aid provides relief from natural and human-induced disasters, while economic assistance includes loans, grants, and official development assistance, or ODA. Another key category is security assistance, which facilitates military cooperation and defense contracts. Ahead, we delve into the need for richer nations to offer aid. The role of wealthier nations in offering aid is often justified on humanitarian and moral grounds, emphasizing the need to relieve human suffering or distress amidst rising inequalities, irrespective of state boundaries. Advocates also cite corrective justice, arguing that developed countries have a moral obligation to assist developing nations in rectifying historical injustices. A notable example is the common but differentiated responsibilities principle in climate negotiations. Similarly, distributive justice suggests that globalization and economic interdependence necessitate fair resource sharing to ensure balanced development, promoting social cooperation at the level of the global community. However, ethical concerns persist regarding the true motives behind foreign aid. Critics question whether assistance is driven by humanitarian out of a sense of global responsibility or self-interest as seen in controversial practices like clinical trials in developing countries. Additionally, the effectiveness of aid remains a contentious issue, with concerns that it sometimes serves political interest rather than genuinely reducing poverty. China's debt trap policy being a frequent cited example. To enhance the ethicality of foreign aid, experts suggest clearly defining its objectives, ensuring that it aligns with humanitarian obligations, sustainable development goals or SDGs, and food security. Furthermore, transparency and accountability are essential, requiring donor nations to collaborate with local agencies to ensure aid is used effectively and ethically. As the US reevaluates its foreign assistance strategy, the global community watches closely, weighing the balance between national interest and international responsibilities.
In our next news, the Reserve Bank of India has released its much-awaited payment system report for December 2024. This biannual report offers an insightful analysis of payment transaction trends over the past 5 calendar years, up to CY 2024. Let's dive into the key findings. Digital payment transactions have witnessed an extraordinary growth. Back in 2013, there were 222 crore transactions valued at Rs 772 lakh crore. Fast forward to CY 2024, these figures have grown 94 times in volume and over 3.5 times in value. Moving to Unified Payment Interface or UPI, the numbers here are remarkable. In the past 5 years, UPI transactions have shown a compound annual growth rate or CAGR of 74.03% in volume and 68.14% in value. As for credit and debit cards, the number of credit cards has more than doubled in the last 5 years, while debit cards have remained relatively stable. On the global front, India has joined Project Nexus, a significant milestone. This initiative facilitates the multilateral linkage of fast payment systems or FPS across 4 ASEAN nations, Malaysia, the Philippines, Singapore and Thailand, along with India. For context, Project Nexus, conceptualized by the Bank for International Settlements or BIS, enables instant cross-border retail payments by interlinking domestic fast payment systems. Now, let's take a closer look at payment systems in India. Payment systems are mechanisms designed to facilitate the clearing and settlement of monetary and financial transactions. Currently, the major payment systems in India include real-time gross settlement or RTGS for high-value transactions, National Electronic Funds Transfer or NEFT for retail banking transactions, National Automated Clearing House or NACH for bulk payments, Immediate Payment Service or IMPS, and Unified Payments Interface UPI for fast payments. Aadhaar-enabled payment system AEPS for Aadhaar-linked transactions. Check Truncation System or CTS for check-based payments. Bharat Bill Payment System or BBPS for bill payments. National Electronic Toll Collection or NETC for toll payments. Prepaid Payment Instruments or PPI and cards like debit or credit for digital transactions. Trade Receivables Discounting System or TREDS for MSME financing. These payment systems are regulated by key authorities such as Reserve Bank of India (RBI), the National Payments Corporation of India or NPCI, and other payment system operators or PSOs. Regulation of these systems fall under the Payments and Settlement Systems Act 2007, PSS Act, which empowers the RBI to regulate and supervise payment systems in the country. Under this act, the RBI can issue licenses and authorizations to various operators, including the Clearing Corporation of India Limited, NPCI, and card payment networks. The regulatory framework is further strengthened by the Board for Regulation and Supervision of Payment and Settlement Systems, or BPSS. This is the highest policy-making body for payment systems, established by the RBI under the PSS Act. Notably, the RBI governor serves as its chairman, while the deputy governor in charge of the Department of Payment and Settlement Systems, or DPSS, acts as the vice chairperson. With these insights, it's clear that India's payment ecosystem continues to evolve rapidly, setting new benchmarks both domestically and globally.
Moving on, the Draft Legal Metrology Indian Standard Time Rules 2025 have been introduced by the Department of Consumer Affairs. These landmark rules aims to establish Indian Standard Time, or IST, as a universal time reference across all sectors in India. These rules emphasize the importance of consistency and synchronization in timekeeping for various critical domains. Let's take a closer look at the rules. To begin with, IST is designated as a mandatory time reference for all sectors, including commerce, transport, public administration, legal contracts, and financial operations. This means that no individual or entity is permitted to use, display, or record time other than IST for official or commercial purposes, except when explicitly allowed by law or government guidelines. Furthermore, the draft rules require the adoption of time synchronization protocols, such as the Network Time Protocol, or NTP, and Precision Time Protocol, or PTP, particularly in government offices. This ensures uniformity in timekeeping across the nation. To enhance resilience, cybersecurity measures are also mandated, along with alternative reference mechanisms to safeguard the synchronization process. While IST remains a standard, the rules allow for authorized deviations in specific cases. For example, alternative timescales like Greenwich Mean Time, or GMT, can be used for purposes such as astronomy, navigation, or scientific research, provided prior permission is obtained. The implementation of these rules carries significant implications. By improving the synchronization of critical infrastructure, the new regulations strengthen national security. Synchronization of digital devices and public services ensures reliable and efficient services, ensuring accurate financial transactions and consistent record keeping. Let's look at the Indian Standard Time, or IST, in detail. IST itself is based on the 82° 30' East Meridian, which passes through Mirzapur in Uttar Pradesh and is maintained by the CSIR National Physical Laboratory. It is set up at 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead of Greenwich Mean Time, or GMT, now referred to as Coordinated Universal Time, or UTC. Local time at prime meridian or zero longitude is known as GMT. The relationship between longitude and time further highlights the logic behind IST. Longitude measures the angular distance of a location east or west of the prime meridian at Greenwich, England. The Earth's one full rotation of 360° in 24 hours means it moves 15° per hour, or 1 degree every 4 minutes. Countries, including India, adopt a standard meridian, usually a longitude divisible by 7° 30' as a reference for their time zone. So that difference between its standard time zone and Greenwich Mean Time may be expressed as multiple of an hour or half an hour. In conclusion, these draft rules mark a significant step towards standardizing timekeeping in India. They promote uniformity, accuracy, and security, reinforcing the country's technological and administrative framework. In today's Place in News, we turn our attention to Lao PDR, or People's Democratic Republic, with its capital, Vientiane. In a significant operation, the Indian Embassy in Lao PDR successfully rescued 67 Indian nationals trapped in cyber scam centers located in the Golden Triangle Special Economic Zone, or GTSEZ. Now, let's take a closer look at the political and geographical features. Lao PDR, or People's Democratic Republic, is a landlocked country in Southeast Asia. The region is part of the broader Golden Triangle, which also includes Thailand and Myanmar, and is historically known for opium production. The country also shares land boundaries with China to the north, Vietnam to the northeast and east, Cambodia to the south, Thailand to the west, and Myanmar to the northwest. It is also a member of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations or ASEAN, playing a role in regional, economic, and political cooperation. Geographically, the country is characterized by plateaus such as Xinjiang, Bolovens, and Khamoen, along with mountain ranges like the Annamite Range and Luang Prabang Range. The highest peak in Laos is Phu Bia. The Mekong River, which serves as a natural border with Myanmar and Thailand, plays a crucial role in the country's geography, with the capital city Vientiane located along its banks.
As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. The Telangana government disbursed funds under the Raithu Bharosa scheme, which was launched on January 26, 2025 on Republic Day. The scheme provides financial assistance of Rs 6,000 per acre per season as crop investment support. Additionally, the scheme released funds based on revenue villages. Recently, the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court called on the UN Security Council to act on the worsening atrocities in Sudan's Darfur region. Darfur, a region in western Sudan, is home to approximately 80 tribes and ethnic groups and has been witnessing tribal and ethnic conflicts. The conflict escalated in 2003 when rebels, namely the Sudan Liberation Army and the Justice and Equality Movement, took up arms against the Sudanese government due to unequal distribution of economic resources, leading to the loss of numerous lives. Recently, the Vayu Seva Medal was awarded to officers for executing Operation Sankalp. Operation Sankalp was launched by the Indian Navy to protect the maritime community from various non-traditional threats, particularly in the backdrop of the Israel-Hamas conflict. It included 3 areas of operation: the Gulf of Aden and adjoining areas, the Arabian Sea, and off the east coast of Somalia. The Directorate General of Foreign Trade has launched the Enhanced Certificate of Origin 2.0 system. The Enhanced Certificate of Origin 2.0 is a significant upgrade aimed at simplifying the certification process for exporters and enhancing trade efficiency. It offers several user-friendly features such as multi-user access, which enables exporters to authorize multiple users under a single importer-exporter code. Highway development since 2013 has had a multiplier effect, with each unit of expenditure made on highway construction resulting in a 3.21 unit increase in GDP growth. The multiplier effect refers to the increase in national income resulting from an increase in government expenditure, particularly on infrastructure projects. Doctors in Jammu and Kashmir expressed the likelihood that organophosphates used in pesticides were behind the deaths of 17 villagers. Organophosphates are chemical compounds formed through the esterification process, which involves phosphoric acid and alcohol. Esterification is a chemical reaction in which 2 reactants like alcohol and acid combine to create an ester as the reaction product. Storm Eowyn, which formed over Ireland and Scotland, has been termed a bomb cyclone because its pressure dropped by 50 millibars in 24 hours. A storm can be called a bomb cyclone when its central air pressure drops by at least 24 millibars in 24 hours. Bomb cyclones get their name from the meteorological term bombogenesis, which refers to when a mid-latitude cyclone intensifies over a 24-hour period. A Guillain-Barré syndrome outbreak has been reported in Pune, Maharashtra. Campylobacter, a bacterial gut infection that spreads through contaminated food and water, has been linked to the outbreak. Guillain-Barré syndrome is a very rare but potentially paralyzing nerve disorder caused by the immune system mistakenly attacking the body's own nerves.
Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description.